I want to ask you, this is just an aside, because there's been a lot of big talk about it. You flew up here before, I understand that, and you drove up here. Did you drive, or did you have a driver? Did you drive a little and ride a little? And secondly, I guess, are you going to drive back? And if some of us wanted to ride to Detroit, could we ride with you?
Where'd you stay? What did you eat?
No, wait a minute, Senator Dodd. Senator, you can ask that question.
Senator
Chairman wants to make light of this, but I can tell you this. Are you planning to drive back?
Yes, sir.
All the press releases, you drove up here.
Yes, sir. And I did have a colleague ride, and we rotated. We drove, left Tuesday night and drove until midnight, and then got up at 5:30 the next morning and drove the rest of the way in. And we did rotate, and I do plan to drive back.
What about you?
We carpooled. I drove, and I'm driving back.
You didn't carpool with him, did you?
No, carpooled with our Ford team.
Okay. What about you?
I drove with a colleague. We split it up about 50-50. We drove down yesterday, and I'm going to drive back myself Friday or Saturday.
Mr. Zandi, one last question.
I took a
part of your testimony, you said that there is no better way to ensure that the big three are around than if they are significantly restructured in Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Would you please explain here? We know it'd be painful. We understand all this. Why restructuring under Chapter 11, in your view, is preferable to restructuring outside of bankruptcy, if it is?
No, let me clarify. I think the best option.
I was just quoting your testimony.
I'll clarify my testimony.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I think the best option is to have a restructuring outside of bankruptcy. I think if you can get all those stakeholders together and they can all agree, that's preferable to bankruptcy. Everyone's coming together.
Do you believe that's going to happen?
I'm very doubtful that it will happen. So what I'm suggesting is that you give them the opportunity, because if you don't, I think failure at this point, bankruptcy at this point in time, would be cataclysmic for the economy. I really believe that. So I think you need to help them now. Give them an opportunity. And also, they've done some good things. They've restructured. Their labor costs have fallen. They have made concessions. I think they deserve the opportunity to execute. But I would make it very clear that if they don't, the next step is indeed a bankruptcy, so that you can prepare as Congress, you can be ready. Because you will have to do something in bankruptcy too. You'll have to do two key things. First, you're going to have to provide financing in bankruptcy, because if they go into bankruptcy without your help,
there's provisions for bank financing.
They won't get it. They won't get it in this environment. They will go into liquidation. And secondly, you will probably have to guarantee any warranties on the cars that they sell. Otherwise, they're right, no one will buy their cars.
So you're putting the taxpayers on the hook a long time, aren't you, basically?
No matter what?
No matter what.
No matter what.
And how long do you believe it would be before, if they got the $34 billion, how long will it be before they're back here in your judgment?
I think it'll be
6 months?
No, it'll be fall, late 09.
But they'll certainly be back, won't they?
I think that's a high probability.
And $34 billion is probably just the beginning. Is that correct?
I think that's a high probability.
Thank you, Senator Dodd.